It's a super cool technique. You should definitely try it out. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, the beast of Ecom, back with another video, dropping nothing but value bombs. So in today's video, I'm going to show you an ad set, okay, that generated over $41,000. Yep, just one ad set. But what I'm going to show you as well is the technique behind the ad set as well. But before I do that, if this is the first time ever watching one of my videos, hello and welcome. If it isn't, then hello, it's nice to see you again. If you get some value, please do like, comment, and smash that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well, because you do not want to miss any of the upcoming videos that I've got to put out. Also, I do have a new pop filter now, so my mic and words and all those P's and B's should be sounding super crisp. So let me tell you about this ad set that generated over $41,000, okay, and the technique behind it. What was the technique that was actually used? Well, it's something called flex targeting. Now, you may have heard of flex targeting, you may have not, but basically what it does is it allows you to hone in and narrow down a specific audience that you're trying to target. So as an example, someone must like X but must also like Y. So putting that into practice, into context, someone must like running but must also like dogs, or someone must like tennis but must also be a nurse. You get what I'm trying to say? You can get super creative with flex targeting, and in this video I'm going to break down, okay, how to use it, what's the best practice, and how I personally used it with this ad set. Well, without further ado, let's jump into the screen and let's get on with some value. Okay, so let's jump into the video and let's start talking some value and actionable content. Okay, so what I'm going to do is break down what flex targeting is, why it's good to use flex targeting, some of the pros and cons of using it, and how I use it. So as you can see, let's talk about the ad set in question. Okay, here are some of the results. Spent around $10,000 to bring in around about $41,000. As you can see, it was a little bit less than 10,000. Fantastic results, as you can see, nevertheless. And this was obviously something using flex targeting. So let's jump into it on how it all works. So what is it and what can you do with it, essentially? So what flex targeting does is it allows you to narrow down on a more specific kind of person. So the person must like X, but they must also like Y. Now, as a prime example, okay, let's say you're running a dog running lead. That's what you're selling, a dog running lead, which allows you to run with your dog. It wraps around your waist, allows you to run with your pet, okay? So you can target people who like running, okay, but they must also like pages and interests relating to dogs. So you can see how they both go together, and you're going to hit a certain type of person. Because of course, if you're just selling a product to people who like dogs, not everyone who owns a dog, you know, or likes dogs necessarily likes running. And same on the opposite side. If you just target people who like running, not everyone who likes running has a dog. So you can see how narrowing them both down and making sure that the person who you are targeting likes pages related to both of them, you can see how powerful this technique can be. Another way of what it does is you can use it to narrow down even further to find the most passionate people in an audience. So for example, again, let's say we're selling a gym bag, okay, a super cool gym bag for gym goers, bodybuilders, whatever it may be. Now, you may target gym as the first interest, okay, massive broad one, and then what you might target is barbell, which is another fairly biggish audience and interest. But then you would flex it down with Dorian Yates, people who like Dorian Yates. Now, if you don't know who Dorian Yates is, you can do a Google search, but he's a famous bodybuilder, won the Mr. Olympia and stuff like that. So people who like all of those three interests, remember they have to have interest in all three of them, generally are going to be your people who are going to be the ones who are going to the gym, hitting it hard, you know, getting big and all those sorts of things. And of course you can flex as much as you want. So you don't just have to do it twice, can do it 3 times, can do it 4 times. But let's jump into Ads Manager and show you how it works in practice, okay? So we've got here, I've just created a fake ad set and stuff like that. As you can see, you scroll down, I'm targeting worldwide so you can see how it works. We're going to get a lot bigger audiences. I ain't going to mess with anything else. Here is your detailed targeting. So if we put in kitchen, which is 252 million people, we've now got 270 million people, okay, who like that audience. Now here's the little button here that says narrow audience. If we click that button, it says and must also match at least one of the following. So if we now put in something like, let's say veganism, I think it is. We went from 270 million people down to just 59 million people, okay? Now you can even flex this even further. If you wanted to put in, say, football, again, we flexed even further. So if we're selling a random product, okay, that is, you know, I'm not sure what you would sell for someone who likes football, vegans and kitchen as well, maybe a kitchen gadget or something like that. You can see how we would target this down and how we can niche it down using flex targeting. So the people must like kitchen, they must also like veganism and be vegan, and they must also like football, okay? And as you can see in practice, that's how you know, flex targeting works in practice. And again, you can flex down as many times as you want, keep narrowing it down until you're happy with an audience size that you want to target. So going back to this, why is it good to use flex targeting? Well, it's great if you're selling products that have multiple angles, okay? Now, for example, let's say you're selling a vegetable kitchen slicer. You know, you can target people who are interested in kitchen, but then flex down like we did with vegan. Or, for example, you know, you can target kitchen as a broad one, and then flex down with people who are interested in dieting, because the gadget itself makes dieting a lot easier. It means you can, you know, cut up food and stuff like that a lot quicker, cut your veg up. No one really likes cutting veg. And a product that makes people's lives easier, okay, is always best to sell. So that's one way of using things. Again, for print on demand, and for anyone who's watching this video who is selling t-shirts, print on demand stuff, hoodies, t-shirts and those sorts of things, flex targeting is fantastic. Why? Because you can hit a highly targeted group of people. Now, for example, let's say we're selling a t-shirt that is for nurses who likes cats. It may be something like, you know, I'm a nurse, but I work to feed my cat. Something random like that, okay? Now, what you can do, of course, is you can put in the flex targeting people who like cats, but must also like pages and interests related to being a nurse. So like nursing associations, nursing websites, you know, whatever it may be, but stuff relating to nurses. So that's another way of using flex targeting. And also, like I've mentioned previously, it's great for finding the most passionate people in a niche. So breaking down broad audiences into much smaller ones. So say, for example, cats, massive broad interest, such as like 10 million people, okay? You can put that as your first one, and then as your second one, as you narrow down, as I Heart Cats or something like that, which is a website for cats, which may have, you know, 1 million or so. And then also another one which is full of just the cat breeds. So as you can see, okay, if some person out there who likes all three of these things, you can pretty much have a good bet that they are interested in cats. Now, whether or not will they buy your product, that's a different question. But you know that this person, okay, that you are targeting is highly interested in cats, okay, because they like all three related interests. Now, the final way you can use flex targeting is flexing it with behaviors. Now, what do I mean by behaviors? Now, Facebook may be getting rid of this soon, only because the collection of data and GDPR and blah, 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 blah. But what you can do is flex it down with behaviors. So let's say, for example, you're selling a product related to fishing. You can do fishing, but they must also like online shopping or be an online, an engaged shopper as the content, as the behavior, sorry, which shows that the person has buying intent. Okay, you're targeting people who are fishing, but they have brought stuff online, or they're an engaged shopper. They're actively spending money online, so they have the buying intent. Now, of course, there's some negatives for using flex targeting. Again, it's just one way to target. I use it as just a test. Not all ad sets I use flex targeting, but you should 100% give it a go and trial. Again, you can miss out on people who will still buy your product. So going back to, of course, selling to nurses, or no, the dog running lead, you may still have people who will buy it if you just target dogs, because they may have someone who likes running. But again, you can sell it to people who like running, because so-and-so may like dogs, but they just don't show interest in those pages. So again, you can miss out on people using flex targeting. So just use it as a test. Okay, always be testing. Also, what it can do is push up your CPMs a lot. So if you are flexing down quite a bit, you can push up them CPMs. So keep an eye on that as well. But as long as your ROAS is fantastic and your cost per purchase is low, then CPMs is irrelevant, but always want to watch it. And finally, of course, it can leave your audience a little bit too small if you are niching down quite a lot. It may leave you with only an audience of, say, 200K. And if that ad set is doing fantastic, you can't grow that one any further because the audience is, fairly limited. So how do I use flex targeting for the numbers that I kind of achieved? Well, what I done is I flexed 3 big audiences, okay? A massive one such as, say, kitchen, flexed it with another massive one, and flexed it with another massive one. So I still had, an audience left of about 10 million people. Now I targeted worldwide because that's where all the massive audience is, and of course had English as the language, okay? Because you want to be targeting English speaking countries primarily, and excluding obviously all of the bad traffics countries. Now, as mentioned, I was still left with an audience of about 10 million people. So more than enough to be able to scale this, and of course it scaled fantastically for myself. And remember, I am always testing it. And that's what I try to tell you guys, is always test as much as possible. Of course, with an audience of 10 mil, if it's doing fantastic, I can then break that down even further, okay? And still break it down, look at my winning genders, look at my winning ages, and look at my winning placements as well, and still have enough room in that ad set to scale it further and break it down and stuff like that. So, that's how I used it for this actual example, and this really shows you how flex targeting, okay, can be super powerful to use. Remember, always be testing and always test flex targeting with in ad sets, because it allows you to get super creative and target people who naturally you wouldn't be able to target if you just targeted the broad interest. Okay, so get creative with the people that you're targeting and run as many tests as you possibly can. As always, I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please do like, comment, smash that subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so that you stay up to date with my latest videos. Let me know if you are using flex targeting and if you're having success with flex targeting as well. Like I said, you can get super creative with flex targeting and actually narrow down into a specific audience, but make sure you are watching those CPMs because they can creep up if you're flexing a little bit too much. Drop a comment down below as well if you've got any burning questions or any burning topics or anything like that you want me to cover in a specific video. Okay, it'll help me out, and no doubt of course it will help you guys out as well. So any sort of topics that you want me to cover or drop a certain video on, let me know in the comment section. I will be scrolling through and picking out the ones that will make for a great video. Remember, I do have a free private mastermind group. If you are in there, fantastic. If you are not, make sure you get in there. There'll be a link down below. Click in that. I'm in there, other marketers are in there. We're all networking, helping each other grow. hit me up on Instagram. It's Beast of Ecom. It will pop up on the screen. Give me a like, give me a follow, drop me a DM, and I'll try and have a conversation with you guys on there. So that is it for this video. Again, I hope you got some value. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video helping you guys make more money online. So that is it for this video. You take care, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.